Hello everybody, welcome to today's episode of House of Tallysha. I'm Isabel Tallysha-Soares. Today I'm very pleased to be here with you and talk about one of my main influences, one of my main intellectual gurus, someone who has helped shape who I am, someone who has influenced me to go and choose certain paths in life, academic, scientific. And the reason why I started to learn English at a very early age, and it was my fourth language, and I started learning it at 9, English, so that I could listen to his documentaries and read his books without any loss of translation. I'm talking about David Attenborough. Sir David Attenborough has been very influential in my life ever since I can remember. I started watching his documentaries, Life on Earth, when I was around 6. And there are very fond memories of that phase in my life because I had a curfew. I had to go to bed at around 8 o'clock. And I remember that one of his documentaries was aired on Tuesday, so school night, and it was around 9 or 9:30 p.m., long past my curfew, my bedtime curfew. And so I remember that I juggled and I compromised with my mom so that she would let me watch his documentaries late in the evening. I would have to drink like this big jug of milk, be very still and silent, already in my pajamas, brushed teeth and all, ready to go to bed after the documentary was aired. So that was this influence, this major influence. I think I have probably read all his books, and I bought all his documentaries. I started, of course, buying documentaries in VHS tapes, if you can remember this format. This is, I have the entire collection of the Trials of Life, younger Sir David Attenborough. And I watched documentaries on TV, then I watched them on TV, but with the tapes, with the VHS tape, the videotapes. And then, of course, I changed formats, and then came DVDs, and I kept on getting his DVDs. This is an interview, Attenborough at 90. This is a more recent one. He's already in his 94th birthday. And another documentary, The Blue Planet. So I think I've got an entire collection, an enviable collection of everything David Attenborough. And this book is Sir David's biography. It is one of my favorite books. I finished reading it on August 5th, 2010, and this is a 2010 book. So as soon as it came out, I instantly bought it, and I even used it. I've even used it for my academic research when I have to do anything related to Sir David. And this is this book has historical value, I think, because in it, Sir David, and in all his decades being a broadcaster, he has influenced the way we perceive documentaries. He has come up with a grammar, with a televised grammar, to help us have documentaries as movies or films. They are narrative in the way that they are filmed and in the way they are broadcast to us, the audiences. So it is through narrative that he has built the documentaries. And in this book, he explains how he and his teams working at the BBC back in the 1950s came up with the grammar for TV, which was the new medium, just like YouTube and social network are now new media. Television was a new medium in the 1950s, and he even recalls when he first saw TV. So that is the historical value of a book like this. And Of all his books and of all his documentaries, I have one which is really close to my heart. I could say it is my favorite, although I love all the books and all the documentaries by Sir David. But one of my favorite books and one of my favorite documentaries is probably one of the least known. The documentary that aired on TV was only 4 episodes, so it's a shorter documentary. There are usually more episodes in the series broadcast by Sir David or produced by Sir David. And it is The First Eden, the Mediterranean World and Man, by, of course, Sir David Attenborough. And the Mediterranean is probably one of my favorite places in the planet, and I have been all around the world and much influenced by the trips and the voyages of Sir David and the places where it takes us all. So I am pretty much a globetrotter, but the Mediterranean is still one of my favorite areas in the world. Today we are filming this in the great outdoors in Ronda, in the south of Spain, so a Mediterranean region. Quite fitting to be talking about the First Eden. And the First Eden influenced me to the point that in one of my trips I went to the Greek island of Rhodes just to look for the Valley of the Butterflies, where you have flocks of butterflies, so congregating by the thousands. I went to the Valley of Butterflies in Rhodes in 2008, and this documentary, The Mediterranean World and Man, is of the 80s, the First Eden, 1886, if I'm not mistaken. And when I got to the Valley of the Butterflies in Rhodes, I didn't see the images of those thousands and thousands and thousands of butterflies congregating. I saw many less butterflies. And I presume that today, 12 years later, there are probably less butterflies. So the impact of climate change is upon us. So it's time to be doing something. And Sir David has also been a pioneer in the sense that not only has he produced these wonderful documentaries, he is now a leading voice as far as saving the planet is concerned, climate change is concerned. He believes that this is pretty much man-made, and we are close to the tipping point when it will be too late or just the time to make amends and get things right. I remember reading The First Eden when I was around 15 years old, and I remember reading it and saving the pages. I was savoring them, true, but I was also saving them. I didn't want the book to finish, and I was slowly reading so that I could have still more book ahead. Well, when I turned 40, I decided to do something very brave of me. I decided to write to Sir David, and I wrote kind of a love letter, an admiration letter, and it was pretty much a gratitude letter for everything he stands for everything he has influenced me, and I had so much to thank him. And I don't know, about 3 days later, I got mail, and I got a letter from Sir David Attenborough, which is probably my most cherished possession. God forbid that my house caught on fire, but if it did, I would probably save this letter and I would probably run to rescue it. So it is so precious, and if I admired Sir David, I admired him even more for taking the time to write back to me, insignificant me, one of his millions of admirers. So he has been this great influence in my life. And with this episode, in a way, I pay tribute to Sir David. I thank him just, for all this influence in my life. And I'm also letting you know that these readings of the natural world, these readings of the planet, and the documentaries that have the stamp and the mark and the signature of Sir David are so helpful for us as learners of the world and of the planet. We learn so much. And if I am shooting these episodes with you, I also shoot them having in the back of my mind the thought that probably I am creating mini documentaries. And I learned a lot from Sir David. And so, to Sir David, thank you. And to you all, thank you for watching, for being there and keeping us company here at House of Tallysha. I'm Isabel Tallysha-Soares. It always gives me great pleasure to be near you, and I hope also to be learning, to be teaching you something, or to helping you know a little bit more about the world, just as I have learned from Sir David, although I cannot compare myself to Sir David naturally. Well, if you like these sorts of contents, subscribe the channel Hours of Tallysha. You know where to find me, because I will be waiting for you.